Okay, I wanted to put a quick video together to help you assemble this nuke down for your octagonal Warré hive. So I've got a little template based on the measurements you sent me. And what I've got is some scraps of wood here. Actually, I don't need this one. Some scraps of wood here just to hold the template up. Imagine this as the top of your empty hive box underneath. And so you've got your top bars going in the same direction that we're going to put the frames above it. So when I look at this, we've got a couple little pieces here that'll try to fill the gaps around here. Ideally, we want this bee tight. What that means is that you know, everything down to even about 1/4 of an inch you want to fill with either wood or you want to fill with caulking. We also want to make this not super watertight, but relatively watertight. So that's what these pieces are going to be used for as we take the nuke box. So this box, you know, what you're going to end up doing is it's roughly centering it, you know, horizontally, vertically, in those directions. And your octagonal hive is going to hang over a bit. You're going to have like a little gap right here. So what you're going to do is you're going to take one of these little pieces, and they're cut to be a little bit bigger than what you need. So, and screw at least 2 of these down, and then put a bead of caulk here. Do you really need to put a bead of caulk here? Not necessarily, because, you know, water flow, if you get rain, it's going to hit this, and you just don't want it to like go down into the hive. Screwing this down against the top of the hive underneath is going to add enough pressure to seal off that and make it bee tight. And then again, you're going to do the same on the other side. Okay. Now, now what you see here is that typically when I make a Warré hive, there's just a rectangular gap that we have to fill here. But because we've got this little extra piece, what we got is this. This goes underneath the hive. And so what you're going to do is just do your best to kind of push this in and you know, and screw it in place. Now, so this is going to be something that like roughly fits, depending on, you know, it's like one on each side. What we're trying to do is, you know, so my cardboard template is pretty rough. You know, it gets me close enough. This bottom part, I have a feeling that I just didn't cut this to the right measurements, but I did use your measurements to make these that correct distance of about 5 and 5/8 inches for each of the hive walls, and that 45-degree angle. So again, you're going to end up doing this, screwing this to the bottom of this box from underneath. And at that point, once you kind of have it screwed, you could even like flip it over. You could take a look at it, make sure that you've got them screwed in the right place, and then pick it up and put it back down. And then again, once you're happy with it, you're going to put in a bead of caulking right here. Just if it's a nice tight fit like that, and it's, you know, less than 1/4 of an inch, you don't need to do any caulking. The bees will naturally fill it. But if there ends up being more than 1/4 of an inch, if you feel like bees can get in or out, then go ahead and put a bit of caulking there. So again, that's going to create a floor for the hive. Now again, you're going to have your top bars going in the same direction as the deep frames for a 5-frame nuke. And the next part is going to be, I actually didn't cut it yet, but there'll be a piece of burlap that you can lay on top of the 5 frames. And then, so you'll put that piece of burlap, that cloth right here, on top of that, and then you'll put your quilt box on top. So this is a quilt box to fit this 5-frame nuke. And again, filling this up with shavings. And then you've got your roof piece that fits on top of the whole system. And this just has a naturally built-in gap to allow air to go in and wick out excess moisture through the shavings. Yeah, you could also, some people end up like kind of cutting like a little hole in the screen and doing like little jar feeders above this. That's sometimes something that, you know, that we're able to do, just to give you some ideas. You know, again, the jars would have to be kind of small enough to fit within that roof space. So that would be something that you'd probably plan ahead of time and try to work out. And of course, the bees would need access to to get them from underneath. And this little gap here, you know, all you need to do is cut out a little circle about the size of a quarter, and you know, in both the screen and in the cloth. Actually, cutting in the cloth is going to be fine enough. You probably don't need to cut through the screen. But yeah, I hope that gives you an idea of how to assemble this. You know, so this is the you know, roughly what it would look like, you know, with the roof on top. The roof is going to telescope and go over this. It'll just barely graze over that. And yeah, this roof itself actually sits flush on top of this box. Yeah, so I hope that helps. Yeah. Take care. Thanks. Bye.